Hey everybody, welcome to the Good Game Geeks podcast. I am your host Brutus, and I am joined as always by my awesome co-host Snooze. Tonight on our fourth podcast, we're going to be playing some Diablo 3 for you all to enjoy. As always, we're going to be covering a lot of different topics, some various gaming related things that we're going to be speaking about while playing Diablo 3. But I really want to start off first. Let's just talk a little bit about Diablo 3. So first, say hello to the people, Snooze.
Hello.
Hi, guys. So obviously, Diablo 3 has taken on a lot of different changes since its launch. I myself was one of the people at midnight when Diablo 3 first launched on PC. Diablo 2 being one of my all-time favorite games. Easily ranks in the top 5, probably the top 3. Loved that game to death. Still could go back and play it to this day. So I was there. And you guys all know that frustration if you were there on day one of trying to find a server that worked. It was brutal. And then when you played it, the game did not have that feel. It felt broken. It felt nothing like what Diablo 2 or the Diablo franchise was all about. So, Snooze, I don't know what your first experience was with Diablo 3, but did you have anything like that?
My first experience with Diablo 3 was really till when it came on console. When it came out on console. I can't remember what year exactly, but that's really when I started playing it. But I know that before that, Max was all about that stuff. So my experience was limited to conversations with him and watching him play it, and or other streamers play it. But I really started playing it when it came out on console.
Gotcha. Did you play 360 when it came out and then jumped the ship over to Xbox One as well?
That's a really good question. I was not expecting that. I'm going to say that I think so, but I'm really not sure.
No, I totally did. So definitely day one purchase on PC, then day one purchase when it hit 360, and then day one purchase again when it hit Xbox One.
So how many characters have you been through, in your Diablo 3 lifetime?
Not as many as you'd think, given that I've played all the different versions, just because once I find that character I love, for me it is the Crusader. Mm-hmm. I will just grind that character until I feel like I've perfected it.
Yeah.
And I really love the Crusader that I have. It's a very oddball type of thing that I created as a build for myself, that's actually designed around, leading a pet army. I have a lot of phalanxes. I have that as a power, and I have a flail that activates that ability. So I have about a 10-person army that will be following and killing shit for me at all times. So it's really great, and I didn't find it anywhere on the internet. I just kind of put it together myself, which I really enjoyed too. Once you find that build that you love, it's something that you can be all about.
True. But the Crusader didn't come out at first. Didn't the Crusader come out with the Reaper of Souls?
Yes, it did. Okay. So when I was playing Vanilla D3, it was mostly trying to find that character. I was playing Barbarian a lot because Barbarian, who didn't love the Barb in Diablo 2?
By the way, I just want to interject and say, we just popped in to do our first bounty, and we're fighting a group of elites. We're getting our ass kicked.
Yeah, of course. Like
so
100%. Of course, we had to have our first bounty be just like this mob group. We are starting from scratch, level 1 characters on the new season, by the way, for any of you that are watching. So it may be slow going, but again, we're really here playing this while we talk about different things for this podcast.
Yeah, there you go. So there will be a lot of death, and we just won't mention it half the time. But
not
enjoy.
Not going to really care too much.
So there you go. Yeah, so that's cool. Crusader. Totally I'm going Barb.
You're going Barb? See, the Barb was my initial, and it didn't, I guess I had different expectations of it, being that it was a Diablo 2 class. And shame on me for wanting it to just be more of Diablo 2, because if that's the case, just go back and play Diablo 2, right? Mm-hmm. So it definitely changed the Barb a bit with the feel of Diablo 3, and it wasn't something that I gravitated to, but damn that Crusader. If anyone remembers the Blessed Hammer Paladin from the Diablo 2 days, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know that a lot of people have been mentioning, a lot of fans of Diablo 2, like why we never got a druid, or I think the Amazon either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Amazon
Max mentioned very often. I think he was disappointed that when they announced that we were going to be getting a necromancer, which a lot of people are saying is going to be very similar to the shaman in some ways.
There was a necro in Diablo 2, and then it's definitely going to play a little bit like the witch doctor, it seems. but I think with a little bit more pet abilities than the actual Witch Doctor even has, which I'm excited for. Yeah. Like the skeleton army, the golems, the poison novas, and everything that you could just have spawn off of your body. I'm pretty excited about. But I mean, I can see where they went, and they didn't want to go bringing back the Amazon because they've got the Demon Hunter. I can see the parallels there. I don't really know what class I'd rather have them bring back than the Necro, to be honest.
Druid sounds cool. I'll admit the Druid sounds cool. I think we're missing a nature class because the closest we have is the Shaman that's like, I don't know, very disgusting.
Yeah, no, for sure.
like
the blood
class.
nature class. Yeah.
So yeah, I think to do our bounties. So we started playing seasons. We're starting a season level 1. So I don't know if you want to explain the principle of seasons.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with it, again, if you're a PC player, you've had seasons for a long time.
Seriously.
Seasons are a mechanic, and if you're familiar at all with how Diablo 2 worked, it's the same thing. They're a mechanic where you start with just a brand new character. No matter what you have elsewhere, what your other characters are, you completely start anew. Everyone on the season will start brand new. There are season-specific items that you can gain, and there are season challenges that you can complete. And the more you complete, the more rewards you get at the end of the season, thereby, you know, if you want to call it bragging rights, if you want to call it, you know, just challenging yourself in terms of what the game can give you, because as everyone knows, the modded items are just, to me, a cancer on this game.
I hate it. We were playing with someone originally before seasons came out, and someone would just pop in with a ridiculous amount of money, for one, and two, with weapons that just made no sense type of damage. Yep. It just ruins the whole game, and it ruins the grind. No hacks, guys.
Goblin top right. Sorry to interrupt.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's with seasons, it's much harder to get that modded items in there, and it's a much smaller time frame, in that you will find yourself trying to just rush through and complete the ending. Oh, that goblin's getting away.
Get to the fucking goblin.
Versus, I'm so toast. Oh, this is gonna be wonderful. Oh my goodness, this is so funny.
Oh man.
I stopped the goblin.
Oh, that's good. Oh, there was 2 goblins then.
Oh shit, really?
Seriously, there was one that got away that I was hacking at. So that's good.
But seasons is a way for them to cut down on a lot of the modded item stuff and to make it fresh again for a lot of players. Because once you hit that grind, once you hit level 70, I mean, there's Paragon levels, of course, but then it's just trying to find that perfect item, which is, you know, sometimes unattainable. And with seasons, it gives you that new experience all over again. We're gonna get him. We got him.
Nice. We got the goblin, guys. We can now continue.
Yep, we still haven't died yet. This is great.
That's amazing. I'm impressed.
And like I said, on PC, if you've been playing Diablo, you've had seasons for quite some time. However, seasons, with this release, Season 10, it is a brand new mode for console. It is the first time that we as console players have ever had this mode.
That's true. And with this coming out on console, I believe it means that console is now, I'm going to get shit for saying this, the better version of the game. Not that it doesn't play better on PC, in the sense that it has more content. Because I believe that we now have everything the PC has. Plus, I don't think PC has those things that come back after they killed your friends. What are they called?
Nemesis?
Nemesis!
Yes.
They don't have the Nemesi.
The Nemesi.
So that, and I think there's another function that we have on console that PC doesn't have. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But
you know,
that's just what I think.
It's hard for me to make an opinion on that, honestly, because, again, Diablo 2 player. Grew up, I mean, Diablo 2 to me was just that coming-of-age RPG that I could sink hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into and never get bored of.
It was for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
It was definitely the game that made a lot of people gamers.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. So for me to say, oh, yep, Diablo 3, like, if you want the best experience, go to console, it hurts my heart a little bit, for sure. But I
still believe that it definitely is the type of game that plays better on PC. Like, no doubt about it. You know?
Right.
I just prefer it on console because I prefer everything on console.
Right, that's fair. That's totally fair. And I think they've done such an amazing job. I don't know if there's any other company that could have adapted a game more suited for PC to console and have it be
true.
such a fluid experience.
That's true. The only thing that's a little more difficult is that you don't have, like, I find inventory slots look a lot easier to move around on PC, because it's like, you know, it's like the drag and click in the inventory type thing. Here you have like this weird inventory wheel, which I must say I'm not a huge fan of, the inventory wheel, because it's a little weird at times, but not so does the job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, we're busting through that bounty.
Bounty. Oh shit, I'm about to die. Oh snap.
And another thing I really, truly, again, love about this game. I mean, this game is, I want to say, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say it came out in 2012. So we are looking at a 5+-year-old game, right around there. A game that continues to get support. Again, this new Seasons mode is a brand new patch for console. If you guys know Blizzard, obviously, they're never one to walk away from their games. Diablo 2 just got a patch last year. That is a 20-year-old game that was recently patched.
If there's one company you can rely on to have continued content and never shut down their service, even if the game is like a million years old, it is Blizzard. They do that well.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy. Like, this is a game I could see. I mean, we have an expansion coming out. Again, we didn't talk much about it, but the Necromancer expansion is soon to come. It is a new character that is rumored to be coming out in July, although there's no official release date yet. So they're just continuing to work with a game like this and just making it a different experience every time, because they've added stuff over time that was never there in the initial release.
Mm-hmm. I'm going
to head back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Oh, I'll head back to town. True. So yeah, do you think there's any chance that they announce the Diablo 4 at some point next time period?
I would say at the earliest, we're talking maybe next E3 would get.
Well, BlizzCon, not like this summer, but the one after. You think?
Yeah, I think if we would get maybe an announcement in 2018. Mm-hmm. I think, again, with them releasing an expansion of a Necromancer this year, they're probably working on it, let's be honest. I mean, someone's back behind the curtain plugging away in Diablo 4 right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's anywhere near close enough for them to have some sort of announcement making the world know about it.
Makes sense. And so that's a good point in chat, is that Path of Exile is coming out on console very soon. Mm-hmm. Very soon. So that's supposed to be a Diablo 2-esque game, much more like Diablo 2 than Diablo 3. So I think that you might get your fun in that one, you specifically.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, hey, again, don't get me wrong. I've got all the fun in the world for Diablo 3. I love this, but I am excited about that port for Path of Exile, for sure.
That's still a super popular game. It's always way up there on Twitch and the played games as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, well, it should be good.
Absolutely. So as we transition over to, what did we say, Leoric's Manor? You want to do that one?
Yeah, that's where I'm heading.
We are going to switch topics as well.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Right?
So
we're going to just double transition, right? Yeah. Tried to be sneaky, and then she called me out. My wonderful co-host, ladies and gentlemen.
Honesty. No. Transparency. Sorry. Keep going.
Since our last podcast, a lot of stuff has happened in the gaming world. There's been some new announcements. There's been some crazy things happening that I never would have thought I would have seen. So I just want to touch on some of that in like a small news segment. So we'll just go ahead and call it what it is. Welcome to news.
I'm very curious to see stuff that you said you never thought would actually happen.
Yeah. So picture this, everyone. We now officially live in a world where a game has outsold the console that it was released on.
Oh, I see.
I'm talking about Zelda Breath of the Wild out on Nintendo Switch, outselling the Nintendo Switch itself.
So let me just be sure to understand. This specifically means that this does not include all the versions that were sold on Wii U. This is specifically Nintendo Switch editions of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Correct. This does not include the Wii U copies of the game. This is specifically Zelda Breath of the Wild on Nintendo Switch, selling more than the Nintendo Switch itself. And it wasn't by an insignificant amount. I want to say, and again, I'll probably be butchered for just quoting an incorrect number, but I want to say it was 200,000 units in the first month that it outsold the console that it was released on. And that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
So there's, I don't know, there's several things that I have many more questions after this. So does this mean that people bought the game because they couldn't afford to buy a Switch yet and they just like pre-bought the game? Or people bought the game and they're going to rent a console from their friends? Or what could this imply?
To me, I think it's a lot of things. I think, A, Zelda Breath of the Wild is an incredible game. Let's just put that out there. No other game is going to be able to do that.
Brutus brother.
It is, I mean, universally acclaimed. I mean, you talk to many of the major reviewers, they're going to use the words one of the greatest games of all time. And so I think that right there is reason number one, right? It would never have sold that well had it just not been an amazing game.
True.
And I think beyond that fact, because it is Zelda, you are going to get some people buying multiple copies because they're going to want a collector's edition that they're going to keep, a standard edition that they're going to play.
And it was in terms of units. It wasn't like in terms of dollars. No,
yes,
that would be weird.
Okay. Yeah, it was overall units that were sold.
Okay.
So, and I think on top of that, it kind of speaks to the demand of the Nintendo Switch itself, right? If people are willing to buy a copy of a game on a system they don't even have yet because
which is crazy.
Because they're like, I want the system that bad, and they're going to know that they're going to buy it. That again, it speaks to the demand of that system that Nintendo ultimately couldn't meet. Although they did a hell of a better job putting out Nintendo Switches on the market.
And we have our first death, everybody. Moving on.
Yes, Brutus died. Brutus went down.
Rip Brutus.
They did a much better job putting copies of the Nintendo Switch out there than they ever did with the Wii or the Wii U. I mean, they made those consoles scarce. I mean, granted, we all know now the Wii U just didn't sell that well to begin with. This guy is wrecking me.
There's 3 more of these down the corridor of the exact same guy.
Oh, that's so exciting.
This guy's fucking us up. But,
Yep.
I mean, it's a Nintendo strategy. The shortage that they keep
Absolutely.
selling as being a shortage, it's not a shortage. It's just to create more the illusion of higher demand. They for real, I think that they really limit the amount that they're going to put on shelves, at least for a certain time period, so that when it does come back in stock, it sells like crazy and reliably sells like crazy.
It's funny you bring that point up.
I don't know how efficient that actually is, but it's definitely a strategy at this point for it to keep happening. They're not stupid.
Oh, no doubt. It's funny that you bring that up because that brings me to my next point.
British is just rolling through these topics.
I mean, you're just helping me into this. I mean, this is great. Everyone knows by now that the Mini NES, the classic console that Nintendo released, was a smash hit. However, after less than a year of it being on the market, Nintendo just discontinued it.
Like 6 months. Didn't this thing go on sale in November?
Yeah.
6 months. Not even 6 months. Holy crap. That's crazy.
It is discontinued. It is a console that they can't say it was discontinued because it didn't sell. You couldn't find that game on shelves anywhere. That console on shelves anywhere. It was something that everyone wanted and was fighting tooth and nail to get. And you would see going for 2, 3, 4 times the MSRP on Amazon, on eBay, for resellers that were trying to scalp it. And then Nintendo just says, you know what? We can't meet the demand. We're going to call it a day.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Like, instead of continuing to make this item that there is just a savage, like,
violent
type of fan base for. Yeah. They're just like, nah.
We're done, bro.
Yeah. So, that blows my mind. Oh, I'm going to die again. That's what's going to happen here. And I honestly, I can't for the life of me think of a reason why. And I don't know if you have any thought into why that could be.
I do not understand. I mean, it's either that they really know what they're doing and they definitely have a whole strategy for this, or the hardware to make it mini or something was really expensive for some reason, which I don't quite understand, because it was something that was made like 30 years ago or something like that. So we should be able to master this in pretty cost efficient ways 30 years later.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't get the impression it's a costing thing. Maybe it is. Who
But
knows?
if that's the case, I mean, set the price higher, you know? Like, I think they screwed up on the initial release, if that's the case, in saying that this is what we're going to set the price for the console for. Clearly, there is a rabid demand for it. So if they would have upped the price from 60 to 99, that thing still would have sold out.
Well, yeah, for sure.
No
people
doubt in my mind.
You mentioned that people are selling it on eBay for hundreds of dollars. People are buying it on eBay for hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no doubt in my mind that sells whatever price point they want to put on it.
Hey, we killed another one. Okay.
So the only thing that I can think of is that this is just the beginning of a chain of releases for this company in bringing back retro consoles.
I think so too. Dude, can you imagine if they redo... Well, so the Super Nintendo would be next, right?
Yep, of course.
And can you imagine if they redid the Nintendo 64 with a like all-in-one cartridge or something like that, or multiple cartridges because of the volume of games it has versus the Nintendo?
That is absolutely what I'm thinking. God. So I think that Nintendo, if I were to guess, and I'm not an expert, but if I were to guess, Nintendo doesn't believe that someone's going to go ahead and buy the mini NES and then buy the mini SNES and then buy the Nintendo 64. So why make that many copies of the first one when you could just move on to the second?
That's true. And it's true. Emulation for the win. I mean, all the games that they were selling, it's just a collector's thing at this point. It's really just a collector's thing. But I mean, the Nintendo eStore, you can buy all of the games available there.
$10 max, like for
each.
Most of them.
Or for most of them. You can probably get like at least 2 or 3 for like $10 on the eStore.
Yep. Exactly.
But I must say, if they come out with a collector's edition or something like that for the Nintendo 64 with what I would presume for them to make more money would be several different cartridges with bundles of games, you know, like bundles of like a dozen games here and there because so many more games on the 64.
You have like your racer cartridge. It's going to have your 12 racing games on it, something like that.
Yeah, it's going to be bundles, and it's going to be in each bundle you're going to have one really popular game, so you have to buy more than one if you want the best ones.
Oh, of course.
Typical strategy going on there, but that I would buy.
That's the only reason I could think of them abandoning such a successful launch 6 months in.
Exactly.
That's got to be the first of many, right?
But then again, think of, I mean, same principle for other companies. They do like these limited time releases, right? Look at, what could I give as an example? The Disney Vault, right? The original Disney movies that they came out with these diamond editions. So for a year or for a few months, Mulan is going to be Diamond Edition. So many extra features. I own a lot of these Diamond Editions, by the way.
I say you sound like an expert on the topic.
And then they go back in the vault and you can't see them anywhere anymore. You, who is a huge pop figurine, should also know the limited timed exclusive. I cannot find an original Mass Effect pop anymore for the life of me.
I mean, I've got Commander Shepard sitting right over here.
Well, I am going to talk with you after this podcast on how much you'd sell that baby for. So I guess it is maybe long-term they're going for some form of a vault strategy because the demand was so high. So they're going to make it a lengthy thing instead of just selling it all out on one. I don't know. But there's definitely more to just, we're giving up, we're discontinuing it. There's definitely
There's
more
no
to the
way
story,
that's
guys.
The whole story.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So, it's interesting, though. Definitely worth talking about, for sure.
Yeah. Nintendo made some headlines in the past few weeks. Absolutely.
But that's good. Hey, publicity in whichever form is publicity. If your name is being talked about in the press, it's a good thing, whether it's positive or negative.
Ask our president. Moving on.
Your next topic isn't about the president, please.
It is not.
Thank God.
But it is about a massive war. One of which you guys may have heard about, World War II.
I never heard about what happened.
Stuff may have shaped the history of the globe.
Oh, okay.
But Call of Duty is returning back to its World War II roots for its newest release. And I think Snooze is going to want to talk about this one.
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think that it's great if they do it well. I think if it's great if they really truly go back to Call of Duty Origins. A lot of people are complaining that the regular problems in Call of Duty not selling anymore, but it's because of the whole space jetpack fighting on the moon stuff that we've been doing lately. I have Infinite Warfare in the bundle with the Modern Warfare Remaster just to get Modern Warfare. I have never even played Infinity Warfare, and I have it.
Only reason.
But I own it. Super sad and hypocritical of me because I'm bitching about it. I know. I just wanted COD 4. Seriously.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, again, you bought it, of course, but you did not buy it for that reason. Like, great, smart move on their part, but it's also kind of like they hedged their bets from the beginning.
But
they knew that this may not have been a great
it's
hit.
Still not sold separate. They pissed off a lot of people. They really, really did. And they still are. So they did need to do something massive to come back. So they're basically doing exactly what Battlefield did.
Yeah,
so
right.
So it's a little late to the game, in my impression. I'm not saying that's going to affect sales, because I think that this one is still going to sell like crazy versus what the last ones were, unless they pull some sort of bundle crap on us again, which would really suck. But hey, you never know with these guys. You never know. Is this one going to be Sledgehammer or Activision?
It is Sledgehammer.
It's Sledgehammer this time around, right? Yeah.
Yes, and they actually, I saw that they did an interview on it, and they said they wanted to stay as true to World War II as possible. So it takes on an incredibly somber tone through most of the game. A very serious, very not, this is, pop, 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 he's dead. Like, deaths have a weight. It's something they really wanted to convey, the seriousness of that war, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And what excites me the most about this is that we're not going to have health regen anymore. So one of the fundamental problems with Call of Duty nowadays is, for one, it's nothing like the original Call of Duties. It is just about spawn, pop, 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 spawn, pop, 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 spawn, pop, 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 and it's just like rush, jetpack, climb the wall, and I feel like it's borrowed a lot of things from a lot of games. Let's face it, there was a lot of Titanfall in there. I mean, seriously, there is this whole other debate that apparently Titanfall stole from Call of Duty, though, but I'm not going to get into that because I have my own opinions on that. But hey, the fact that they're changing out how the gameplay actually works and not just putting a skin and a better engine on a game from year to year, that is good. That is good. They need to make some serious changes to the games to get some of this just trolly 14-year-olds out of here a little, make the game a little more difficult. There's still going to be a million, kids predominantly on the game, sadly.
Of course.
Sorry for the kids out there, just my opinion. That is their fan base, but making it more difficult will be a good thing for the game. It is good because it's going to be much, much more different. Hopefully they limit the amount of microtransactions too. I mean, I don't know if I want to have like a snake scaly penis skin on my M1 Garand.
Oh, day one purchase. Just shoots little penises. Just boom, boom, boom.
But yes, I hope that they make duty great again. That's all I wanted to say. I have hope. I have hope, but there's definitely... The no health regen is a start, but I definitely want some more changes. And hey, Nazi zombies.
Yes, so yeah, again, going back to that... They're keeping... Oh, there you go. I'm dead again. Going back to Brutus dying. They, again, speaking to the seriousness of the game, they are keeping in, again, the health regen. And they said the main reason that they wanted to do that was to make it realistic, to give you that sense of peril.
That sense of we're actually at war and we're not just in this complete meta of a shooter, which is now a joke of itself.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
So I thought that was a great reasoning behind it as well. Besides just let's change the game and see if this works. It makes sense. You want to return to the roots. You want to bring, again, medics back into the game and things like that, making that matter and making, oh my God, I can only take a certain amount of shots before I die.
Exactly.
I need to maybe play smarter. I need to maybe play with a strategy versus... As long as it doesn't matter if I die 16 times. As long as I kill 17 people, I'm okay. No, it makes
Who needs to
play
protect
smart.
the objective? Dude, my ratio is off the chain.
Exactly. I got
hate
one more
that
kill
so
than
much.
death. This is what matters.
Oh, man. Who cares if we're completely losing on domination, 3 captures to 0? I got a Moab,
Exactly. There you go.
But yeah, so I'm hopeful. Hopefully we're gonna get a lot more details in the coming months. So I'm sure we're gonna be coming back to this topic a few times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Now,
E3 is just around the road, so.
What was Sledgehammer's last game? So, I mean, we had Infinity Warfare. Is it Advanced? I'm going to be totally honest. I haven't bought Call of Duty in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Was it Advanced Warfare before Infinity?
No, before Infinity was Black Ops 3.
So it would have been Advanced Warfare was the last Sledgehammer game, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So that's interesting. I mean,
Could
the
be wrong.
first year that they took it kind of futuristic, and took again some of that from, Titanfall, is the same developer that's truly taking it all the way back to its roots.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Sledgehammer not being the original developer, it's not Infinity Ward.
Dude, these walls are killing me in this game.
Yeah, no. It's definitely making. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I've died about 6 times in this.
Yeah, we also finished our bounty like 10 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, there we go. That's fine.
We're just fighting the same group.
Right. So I'm actually, for once, like I said, I bought Call of Duty this last year, but it was for Call of Duty 4. So I consider that not a Call of Duty game purchased, in my opinion, because I'm just playing Call of Duty 4 all over again. Honestly, haven't really truly been into Call of Duty since it moved to Xbox One.
So could this be the one that brings you back?
I think it will. I think I am going to get it.
Ooh,
I want to give it a shot.
They're already working their magic.
That's
all they needed to do.
But I think Ghost was truly the last game that I played the campaign through.
Ugh. Ghost with the dog in the campaign. Oh, that was so bad. Dude, Ghost was horrible.
So I do think this is the game that maybe brings me back. Will it be something that I see myself playing for hours and hours on end? Probably not. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be something that gets me interested enough to give it another shot.
Yeah, and it used to have good campaigns.
Oh, yeah.
That's not true. I take that back. It used to have great campaigns.
Amazing set pieces. Yeah, the stories that you could get behind. A little over the top, sure. But, it's a video game. So
exactly.
They kind of sensationalized it a little bit. But Modern Warfare? Are you kidding?
Yeah, exactly.
Changed how video game stories were written for active shooters, for modern shooters.
Yeah. And they had that, you're right, they had that top spot and they just lost themselves. So hopefully they go back to a great campaign because people have only been buying Call of Duty for multiplayer for the last X amount of years.
Exactly.
But if they sell the fact, because they never sell their campaign, they've just been selling multiplayer and packs and DLCs and zombies. But if they actually go back to selling their good campaign, then that's another game changer. So
I read an article on Kotaku a few days ago, and they said if you really want to change Call of Duty, release a full-blown zombie standalone game.
Oh.
If you want to create a true alternate history where, Hitler changed the Nazis to become zombies and an undead army, this and that, release that as a standalone game and see what it does.
You mean it wouldn't have like a versus multiplayer? It'd only have like the co-op multiplayer and then a single-player zombie story?
Exactly.
Ooh, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, so it was, I want to give credit to the writer, but I can't remember his name, but it was on Kotaku. So if you guys do want to go see that, it was on there and you can read more about it.
That's a very interesting thought.
A different take on it. Again, with 3 developers, I think you're able to take that risk. Because, you're only creating that game once every 3 years, even though you're getting the yearly releases. So, that's our Call of Duty news.
Yeah.
Pretty excited about it for once, for me.
For sure, we're going to be going back to it, for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, hope you guys are excited about that, too.
And then, our last bit of news, if you guys haven't heard, and if you're in my channel, you've been in Snooze's channel. And if you've been in Snooze's channel, we're excited about this. So Twitch announced a huge game-changing bit of information for a lot of smaller streamers called the Twitch Affiliate Program. I'm not an expert on it, but I know someone who is really starting to learn more about it because she was recently invited to be a part of it.
Yay! Don't oversell it, though. I still have so much to read about it. I have no idea what I'm getting into. I really don't. I'm excited, though. I am so super excited about it. The biggest complaint lately, I think we've talked about Beam before, or just touched base on it briefly, I think. Beam has been this huge thing that's been popping up. So, and with YouTube Gaming last year or 2 years ago, Twitch has definitely been due to step up their game a lot. especially with some other platforms focusing more on community and early stream development if you don't have those huge partner-worthy numbers. And there's such a huge volume of smaller community streamers on Twitch, like myself, like Brutus, who's getting back into it, right?
You know it.
Because he can stream from PC now.
It's so exciting!
That definitely needed more recognition. They definitely needed more recognition, and you just felt that Twitch had gotten to a point where it was so big that they just didn't care about the little people. And honestly, having streamed for 3 years relatively consistently, it's been rough. I mean, you've just been waiting for some announcement like this. So Twitch affiliates was announced. They have stepped up their game since this competition has come back into play. And I'm super happy about it. I'm super stoked, believing in these guys. And so they launched a Twitch affiliate program. They've basically started sending out emails to people. There are some guidelines. I might be missing a guideline, but off the top of my head, you need to have streamed 500 minutes or more in the last 30 days.
Yep.
For one, you needed to have streamed at least 7 separate moments. Separate unique stream days, I think they call it, within those last 30 days. You need to have a concurrent viewership of 3 viewers or more. And I think you need to have the double Twitch authentication enabled. And 50 followers. Thank you, Tixter.
That's
that.
right.
That's the other criteria that I was missing. I knew you guys were there for me. And 50 followers to your Twitch channel. Or more.
Now, first things first. For anyone who doesn't think competition is a good thing, I want to point to this right here. Twitch affiliates never would have come out, or at least never would have come out as quickly as it did.
It would have taken a lot longer.
If not for Microsoft releasing their version of the streaming service Beam. When that was released, Twitch knew that it needed to step up its game, and this was its answer. So I actually believe that in the coming months, we might kind of see that sort of arms race back and forth, because Beam really wants to be your one-stop shop, again, for Xbox users, for Windows users. Microsoft wants to take that over, and Twitch has the largest share of the pie. So if they want to stay on top, they're going to be having to do some things and make this service a better service. And if Microsoft wants to do anything to take over that, they're going to have to counter.
Mm-hmm. I think so. What I've said previously is that Twitch is on top of this game. They are, and they really needed to step up their game to make sure that they kept that top spot. This is what they knew. They're Twitch and Beam are 2 different companies that are in 2 different periods of their life cycle. I've been saying this for the last few months, honestly, because people have been writing to me. They've been like, well, I mean, for smaller community, Beam is the better place to be for a smaller community. You're going to get partnership faster. You're going to be able to start monetizing it faster. You have more community-like features, which Twitch doesn't offer you. So for a small-time streamer, I mean, it's really worth it to switch. And I mean, I work in a business. I know that this meant that they had to keep up their game because they're on a different part of the bell curve. They're at the top of the bell curve. So to maintain that spot, they need to keep rolling out these features, and obviously solidifying what they already have with their partners to keep it 2 distinct things. And it's not that much. It's some new features that are going to be available to help small streamers to kind of encourage them to keep putting the effort that they've been putting into their channel and just keep it going. And so that their viewers, part of these small communities, have more options basically to support them. They make some features that are a little more fun, like they have the bits. I think it's starting off with bits and ads that will be available, and I think in the future they mentioned that the $4.99 sub button would be available, and also one emote. I think the one emote is as of now. And also something else will be coming is now that there's a little purchase game button below channels as well. And I think they're going to enable kind of the affiliation through people who purchase the game after clicking on it underneath your channel. So there's going to be more features coming out, and this is just the beginning. I'm expecting a lot of cool things. I'm not expecting everything to be perfect. I'm expecting there to be a lot of changes since this is a brand new program. But I'm very excited about it. I think it's fun. It's going to be some cool little things. I think people need to not be silly about it and not just kind of push for the whole money aspect of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think you just need to be true to your channel, guys.
Yep.
Keep doing exactly what you're doing. Don't go crazy on like showing ads. Don't go crazy on asking everyone to give bits instead of whatnot. Just be exactly who you've been. If you've gotten to the point where you have access to the Twitch affiliate, congratulations. That is awesome. Don't change a thing. If your stream is to that point, you are going in the right direction. You are doing the right thing. So just continue in that way and have fun with it. Enjoy the new little features. That's what I plan on doing. I have, like I said, we will see.
and that's where I think Twitch is doing it right. Because yes, of course, their business, they want to incentivize, money changing hands. Ultimately, they truly do.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a money-making move on their end as well. Let's not hide it.
Absolutely.
Let's not hide it.
So they're doing things that help streamers, that allow streamers that want to make this something that they do, where they can be more supported by it, financially. They can afford to take risks like that. And, potentially this allows them to go out and buy a game that they wouldn't normally purchase or go and, yeah, exactly. Like this is a lot of things that make it great for streamers, but also, that one small thing like adding the emote. This is all about viewer engagement as well, because ultimately, How does Twitch make their money? By having a hell of a lot more people using it, period, than Beam. And they don't want to just worry about the streamers. This is for the viewers as well. So small changes like this make me someone who, nearly lived on Twitch for a couple of years, just watching different people stream, watching different people play games. The amount of engagement that I think will come from this as a viewer, I think is really what I get excited about as well.
No, it's gonna be nah.
Nah, Brian.
It's gonna be very, very cool. That was a yes nah, not a no nah. Mm-hmm. Nah, bro, it's all good. I think you said it very well. I think first and foremost, it's a money thing because there are so many more small community streamers than there are actual partners. So there is a pool of potential income that they have not dipped in yet, and I'm sure that if they share their numbers, this is going to be a game changer again. And who knows, maybe it'll give them more money to finally reduce their stream delay. Their fucking stream delay of 26 seconds. Sorry, a little pet peeve of mine.
And it honestly, as someone who doesn't stream all that much, I don't understand. Like, why is that a problem? Like, I don't understand why they can't figure it out and make it more close to when it's actually happening. Because holy crap, to try to engage with your viewership on something that happened 30 seconds ago while also concentrating on what's happening in the moment is probably the most asinine thing that I have to do while streaming. It is so hard to be like, yeah, and then just focusing on what's in front of me. It's the dumbest crap ever.
This is why Brutus needs to stream more, because this is a habit that develops very easily. It's just weird when you go from streaming to real life, because then, I'll end the stream, I'll go talk to Max, and I'll wait 30 seconds before answering him. That's not true. That's not true. But it's just a habit you can develop. But
can please someone make a Twitch highlight of that? I want to see that. Post it on Discord. That'll make me so happy.
As long as Max doesn't see it.
Oh, man. All right, so before we switch gears here one more time, let's go after another bounty. What do we got? We never completed Leoric's Manor. What are you talking about? Let's go back. We've only killed 3 people out of 75.
Oh, it's because we have to do it in a specific area. Yeah, guys, we suck.
Oh, this is great. You guys have been really loving this. In the Royal Quarter.
Okay, we are in the Royal Quarter now.
Oh, it's inside there. Got it.
Oh, no, we're not. So confused.
I see a yellow arrow. Hey, let's go toward that guy. Brutus froze. Oh, yep. Picking my nose.
Oh, that's a great freeze. Dude, your finger up your nose. That's great. Hey, I found the rest of the bad guys we were supposed to kill.
To be fair, it was just me scratching my nose. FYI.
Okay, give me 10 seconds of no sound now so I know when to cut this and restart it. Okay, you're good.
All right. So we are back. goodness, what we were saying. Oh, yeah, we were getting back into Leoric's courtyard because we finally found where the hell our bounty was. That's right. We, like, killed 800 people, you know, very slowly.
But in the wrong area.
In the total wrong area.
Lame. Oh, my God.
So, now that we're back to playing this game, Snooze, what games have you been playing lately?
Diablo 3 in the last few minutes.
Yep, totally.
And I've been completing my playthrough of Mass Effect, which my opinion has not changed. It's a really fun game. The story is really good. The character loyalty missions are super fun. A lot of fun stuff there. So
now you seem to not be having much luck in terms of the character loyalty thing, right?
No, dude, I cannot like sleep with anyone for the life of me in that game. All I want to do is sleep with my entire crew, and I'm playing female rider. This is for mature audiences only.
Of course.
Yes. So I have a female character, and I've been trying to, pun intended, nail down some characters loyalty-wise. However, I'm only hitting it off with all the female characters. It's almost like the game is really pushing for ease of access for male viewers, so the female on female relationships are super easy to get to.
There you go.
But it's so endgame to fall in love with a male in that game. Completely unrelated to how much I like the game. It's just I'm complaining because my rider can't get laid. So that I've been playing that, and moving on to a completely family-friendly game. I've been playing Yooka Laylee.
Yooka Laylee. Okay, so I've heard a lot about it. I've seen a lot of actually good reviews coming from Twitter. Major Nelson seems to be all about it, of course. You know, huge Xbox guy.
I mean, who's surprised?
Yeah, right. Not really surprised there at all.
Yeah.
But you know, tell us about your experience with Yooka Laylee.
So Yooka Laylee, just to give you guys an idea what it is. It's like an open world platformer, a lot in the style of the Nintendo 64, 90s, early 2000 era platformer games. It's from the same makers of the Banjo-Kazooie and some of the Donkey Kong games. And it plays exactly like that. It really plays exactly like Banjo-Kazooie. It is Banjo-Kazooie with a ukulele skin. So instead of being a bear with a bird in your backpack, you are a lizard with a bat on your head. And honestly, from there, everything is the same. Instead of jiggies, you have pages. Instead of musical notes, you have quills. But it's the exact same thing. Same style of worlds. Jinjos. The Jinjos are just a little different in this game. Basically, each Jinjo you have to do a different action to get the all 5 Jinjos in the world. I'm comparing a lot to stuff that exists in Banjo-Kazooie, which I am a huge fan of. If you ask me what are some of my top 3 favorite games from when I was a kid, Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 are way up there. Way up there.
Now, if you guys want to get, again, if you want to know what she's talking about, and you want to experience Banjo yourself, like Rare Replay is still an option, an amazing option for those who are on Xbox. 30 games for what, $30, I think?
30 games, $30? Simple as that.
Fantastic games made from Rare. Obviously, a huge pedigree from a developer like that. And there's, I want to say about 4 Banjo games, 3 to 4 Banjo games that are on there.
3. So you have Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2, which were from the Rare team before they were purchased by Microsoft. And then you have Nuts and Bolts, which was done after they were purchased by Microsoft, and which sucked so much. It was so bad.
Yeah, before Microsoft, they were a Nintendo property, right?
It was Rare, exactly. So it's a lot of the developers behind, the creative talent behind Rare that have moved to this new company called Platonic? I think it's Platonic Games. And they're the ones that made this game. And it's you can tell, it's the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. Tout craché, as you could say in French. For our limited French audience.
There you go. For those of you that speak French, you know, that's exciting. Croissant.
Le croissant fromage. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because I liked Banjo-Kazooie so much when I played it originally. I thought it was super innovative and creative and just fun. It is a kid's game, essentially. It really is. Made for a younger audience, but it's still fun. at its base. And so, I mean, there's no surprises in this game, really. But then again, there's no disappointment because I knew exactly what I was expecting. So it's
now, to me, nowadays, platformers kind of get a bad rap as being kids' games, right? You know, they're not as difficult as other games. They're not as adult themed, so some people look down on that as a simple type of game. What do you feel about that? Do you feel like this is a game that presented a significant enough challenge to really merit it being purchased by multiple demographics, multiple age groups, or do you think this is something that is catered to a younger audience?
I think essentially at its core, it is catered for a younger audience, like some of the original games were.
Mm-hmm.
Conquer Bad Fur Day being the exception, since it plays kind of like that as well. Mm-hmm. However, there is a crap ton of collectibles, and there are a lot of different levels to the game. Where if you want to 100% it, well, then I do believe that you need a bit of a higher intellect and skill for gaming. I mean, I wasn't able to gather all the collectibles in the game when I was, 13 years old. So I think that is definitely going to be the aspect that's going to appeal more to the more experienced gamer in us. It's definitely what appeals to me. There's a lot of collectibles in there. A collectathon, exactly. So I think from that perspective, yeah.
That argument always has frustrated me because people try to lump things into groups, right? Like, it's just what we do. It's human nature. Mm-hmm. You want to lump things together. But you say something like platformers are kids' games, and I just want to take everyone a couple years back and point to Ori and the Blind Forest. And dear Lord, what a pain in the ass difficult game that got to be towards the end. I love that game.
It was a great game.
It is phenomenal. And as far as platformers go, I don't know of any better in this generation.
No, I don't think so, honestly. It was
holy crap, that game got difficult. Yeah. So definitely, when you see something like also the art style of Ori and the Blind Forest, you think younger audience, you think something like that. So again, just going back to our last podcast of don't judge a book by its cover, or don't judge a book by the opinions of idiots on the internet. Form your own opinion. Play the damn game, because you'll be pleasantly surprised most of the time.
Oh, it's definitely a pleasant game, and I think that argument applies to any video game. How often have you told someone that what your favorite hobby is in life is a video game, and they're like, it's not like skiing in the Alps, so what's wrong with you? I mean, playing video games at 27 years old, like, get out of here. We're still in a day and age where video games are associated with kids. Mm-hmm. I think we're slowly getting out of it because of esports and because of just the visibility and just how big Twitch is actually getting, for example, and YouTube as well. Huge. More Twitch than YouTube to appeal to the adult audiences. But
you also make me feel really good in saying that, at 27 you're young, so I'm feeling pretty damn old right now. But yeah, I can get on board with that.
Just go with it, man. Just go with it.
I am going to move to the Southern Highlands, by the way, just to give you a heads up.
Everyone, we are moving to the Southern Highlands. Please buckle your seatbelts.
And while we move there, getting out of what we played, in case everyone doesn't know, today is actually National Tabletop Game Day.
Awesome.
So, I am pretty freaking excited about that because there are so many good tabletop games out there right now.
Why are we not playing something on Tabletop Simulator right now?
It was no joke. It's on my drive home today. I was thinking, why didn't we play like a Monopoly? Why didn't we test out Tabletop Simulator?
Shame on us, for real. I'm just realizing that now. Like, what the fuck were we thinking playing Diablo on Tabletop Day?
Right. So, obviously, as all of you know, games take a lot of different forms. Holy crap, do they ever? Because there are some insane tabletop games that are out right now that we're going to touch on. And if you are limited to the Monopolies, the Sorries, oh God, I'm running out of shit already, Yahtzees of the world, that's
Dude,
great.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about this topic if you're limited to Monopoly and Yahtzee.
But if that's something where you are just all about and you are loving in terms of tabletop games, That's fantastic. There is nothing wrong with those games. But there are games that have some complexity that rival a video game right now. And I wanted to talk about one just right off the bat. As a Harry Potter fan, again, bought the books day one when they came out, watched the movies, have the collection. I own Sirius Black's and Severus Snape's wand. Like, I'm going to throw myself out there as a Harry Potter nut. Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle is a tabletop game that released late last year. Snooze, when you think of a tabletop game, what do you think of?
I think of a game that you play on a table with friends.
Fair enough. Are you trying to win and beat your friends?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. This is a game that's a little bit different. You are actually working as a team with your friends.
Can you be the traitor of the group and, like, kill them all?
You cannot. No. So this is for nice people. I'm sorry. So this may not be for you.
I'm glad we've established this.
So you play as a group of up to 4. It's even a one-player game if you want it to be. But it's definitely, the more players you have, the more fun it can be, because there's all different sorts of powers and things that you can activate. But ultimately, it's Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Neville. You choose a character. They have their own certain way of playing. They have their own certain starting hand. And ultimately, it is a card game that you want to try to learn better spells, become a better wizard, and defeat the villains that you encounter in years 1 through 7. It is 7 games within a game, broken down by years.
Okay, that's cool.
For example, year 1, your main villains are Draco Malfoy,
of course,
Crabbe and Goyle,
of course,
and then Professor Quirrell.
Yes.
So that's your year 1. Year 1 is arguably the easiest year to beat the game, and you can stop at year 1 if you want. You don't have to play the years in succession. You can jump straight to year 7 and take on Lord Voldemort, Fenrir Greyback, Bellatrix Lestrange, and every villain from the years prior. It can be as hard as you want it to be because you really set the difficulty yourself. But ultimately, you are trying to defeat the villains that are trying to take over different locations around Hogwarts and the, Hogsmeade and Diagon Alley, different locations around that wizarding world.
I'm glad that you said Diagon Alley correctly, because you know what happens if you say diagonally.
Yeah,
right?
You end up in a really shitty area of the universe
Big
that
nerd.
you don't want to be in.
Nerd alert.
Diagon Alley. But yeah, so if you guys haven't had the chance, look it up. It is, again, called Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
That sounds like fun.
It's a blast. A friend of mine has it, and I've played it a few times, and holy crap. There's many different ways to play, many different cards to use, so it does feel like each time you play the game, it is different, which is, it's exciting in and of itself, because we all know how playing a 4-hour game of Monopoly goes. Everyone hates everyone, and you want to just walk away killing each other.
Yeah, that's for International Table Flip Day, not International Tabletop Day.
Exactly. So that's the game that I really wanted to talk about, because it's a game that, again, just came out last year.
I have a very important question about that game.
Yes.
Can you play as Dobby?
Dobby is a card in the game that you can use.
Okay.
She's fantastic. If I remember offhand, she only costs 4 influence.
Wait, Dobby is a she?
She? Sorry, I've always thought of Dobby as a she.
No, for real?
Maybe. I could be really getting schooled right now.
Guys, is Dobby a he or a she? Oh my god, this has just changed my entire thought process on Dobby. I don't know why.
Get real corrected here in a second. I'm going to just get schooled. I'm a Harry Potter nut. Dobby's a she-elf.
This is the most important question of the podcast. Is Dobby male or female?
Anyway, it's a card that only costs 4 influence, so it's a fairly easy card to acquire. Oh, it's he. Thank you, Patty. And now I know. I thought Dobby is male.
Brutus! Literally the only person in the history who always thought Dobby was a female.
Rewind a bit. Let's rewind a bit.
Oh no, this is not being edited out. No fucking way.
Oh, this is so brutal. I will not live this down. They're just, every time I stream, I feel like now people are just going to drop into my chat and be like, Dobby's male, bitch, and then leave.
Yes!
Like, from now on.
Do it!
That's
Do
exactly what's going to happen.
Brutus Force 21. Follow him and tell him Dobby is a he. Do it, guys.
Oh, so good. But it's, no joke, pretty strong card. It's a card I like to have in my deck, for sure.
I believe you. I mean, when you can't identify the sex, you're a really strong card.
Yeah, right? You can make big things happen. Number one fan, Brutus. Yeah, thanks, Ensor. All right. So, what's your tabletop game of choice there, Snooze? Let's get talking about something else.
I mean, I love playing games where I really know what gender the characters are. So I am a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of Munchkin. I love Munchkin. I don't know if you guys know what Munchkin is. Munchkin is essentially it's kind of like what? It's a deck building RPG type game. I don't know exactly how to describe it. But yeah, it's pretty much that. You start with your basic Munchkin, level 1. The goal is to get to level 10. You can play up to 6 or 8 people. 3 to 6 people is what it says.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And the more the better.
Oh, absolutely. The more card spam, the more people yelling at each other that you have around this game, the better. It's not a deck building game, so how exactly would you classify it? Tixter is a huge tabletop fan, so we're going to get corrected on a lot of things right now. I'm expecting it. Go for it. So
I would still say it is a deck building game because you're wanting to defeat monsters to gain the correct treasure, or you're trading it off to grow levels. It is a card game, for sure.
Yeah, it's played with cards. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, yes, it's a card game because you aren't playing from a deck. I'd say Tixter's right in that respect.
With a lot of RPG-like elements, in the sense that you have to get the strongest weapons that you possibly can to fight these waves of monsters that are gonna come at you every time it's your turn. You also get like these spells and stuff and these ability cards that you can cast on other players to kind of fuck them over. The game is really all about screwing over your friends, making, I'd say, temporary alliances with your friends.
Absolutely.
To get yourself out of trouble, and then screwing them over to win the game.
Yep.
So there are some great cards. It's a funny game. It's a really funny game. Oh, my first death.
Oh, I've had like 6 finally. So some of my best experiences in Munchkin were just like absolutely shystering the other 4 people in the table to just like screw my way to level 10 and take the victory and run away. It is a blast if you can work the cards in your favor to make something like that happen.
Yeah, and that exactly, like you build up your equipment, you build up your weapons, you build up your overall gear set. And your minions that can follow you, because in some cases you can have minions or you can have ships. The coolest thing about the game is that there's several versions of the game, and there's the main game, which is just Munchkin, typical go-to Munchkin, which is probably still the most popular one, and it has a bunch of expansions on it. I don't know how many expansions there are, so you can just keep adding. And every time you don't play the expansions separately, you just keep adding these cards to your already main game cards. And it just keeps building, and you just get like this arsenal of equipment at some point and random stuff. There are also different themes of Munchkin, I guess. I have next to me here, I might die, I have Munchkin Zombies. I have Munchkin Bites, which is basically vampire, lichen theme type thing. And my personal favorite,
Booty!
Munchkin Booty. Munchkin Booty. So yeah, the cards in the back are really funny. The monsters that you fight are often very, very punny. I'm gonna say punny. There's a lot of punny cards in the game, so that makes it all the more entertaining. And
as far as themes go, I think we're honestly closer to 20 than 10. If I had to guess, there are that many out there. I mean, there's Cthulhu, there's superheroes, there's Apocalypse.
I think there's Ninja. Apocalypse.
That's correct.
I think Apocalypse is actually a more tabletop version of the game, as in more like I think there is an actual board, maybe, or if not, there are Apocalypse cards. You need to turn over these Apocalypse cards every once in a while. I played it for the last time a long time ago.
They do kind of like
Space, Munchkin Food. Oh my god, there's so many.
Yep. They do bring out some different mechanics based on the different versions of the game. For sure. I think Dungeons is also one of them in one of the versions as well.
Ooh, I should get that one. But the basic go-to one is just typical fantasy.
Yep.
Exactly. So obviously the most popular one.
As far as also, I would say niche games go, because ultimately, if you ask a random fella off the street, do you want to play a board game? They're going to think the Monopoly type of deal.
Do you want to play a board game?
Yep. Right, yeah. Just walk up to strangers and ask everyone that today, guys, because it's National Tabletop Day. You've still got some time left to start a game. Get some people in your house, have a blast.
Got a few hours, guys. Well, yeah. I mean, people, other than North America don't, but get to it. Right. Retroactively.
But a lot of those niche card games are expensive. For instance, Harry Potter, like $60. I won't lie. It's definitely up there. But Munchkin, I want to say, is only like $29.99. So it's a fairly cheap game to get into. And you can buy expansions to make it better beyond there.
It's the expansions that start getting pricey in Munchkin, though, because each expansion is $15 to $20.
That's true.
On top of the original. And you want them all. It's like every time you want more. I need the pants set, so we get a whole bunch of new types of pants. And I need the goblin set, so we have a whole bunch of goblin enemies. And anyways.
Oh, Munchkin Quest. That's the one that introduces
Yes, not
the
Apocalypse.
Dungeon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Not sure. So a whole bunch of different versions. It's just super fun. If you have like Brutus said, the more people the merrier. It's just super cool because everyone just starts yelling at each other. And the best rule in the game, the reason why you want to be the person who owns the game, this is my favorite part about it. In the rule description, there is literally a sentence that says, if you guys, because there's a lot of arguing around rules, because it's the difference between you getting screwed over and your ally winning or not. There is a sentence in the rule book that says, if in case of an argument and you guys can't come to a decision or the rule is not written in the book, the owner of the game gets final say. So you want to be the one who brings the game to the table.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what I want to say about that. So if you guys haven't checked out a Munchkin game, Munchkin Booty is my personal favorite, but
I would agree.
Yeah, if you see all the different types out there, just go with one that catches your eye the most and catches your liking the most. So Munchkin's what I wanted to mention.
Yeah, I would say the original is a great one to have just to learn the overall mechanics of it, for sure. But then, someone died over here.
Number two.
But then Munchkin Booty is for sure my personal favorite as well. It expands on the original mechanics without having it get too messy. And I think there are some versions, like I own Zombies as well. And I think Zombies is a version that kind of gets a little too messy with too many different mechanics inside the game itself that just convolutes it a little bit.
Well, Booty's cool because you don't have minions or anything like that. You have ships. You have ships, and then you have really punny shark monsters. And you have this combo with like Davy Jones, and so you have Davy Jones's locker, and you have Davy Jones's fish friend, or a whole bunch of different stuff like that. And the game also encourages you, again in the rulebook, to take all these different kinds and mash them all together. So you would mix up zombies with booty, with bites, with kung fu munchkin, with the original game, and you just have this whole huge master clusterfuck of rules to deal with. So the game encourages you to go as wacky as you could be with the game.
So,
which is amazing.
Just one aside, and I just bring this up because Snooze, you might appreciate this. So, the undead mechanic of if you're fighting a skeleton or undead, you can just pop another undead monster that the other player has to fight immediately. Yeah. And same thing with the shark attack, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that.
I know in Munchkin Bites, same thing with the bats.
Oh, okay. So I don't have that one. But there is, in one of the expansions for the original Munchkin, there is an undead shark. So it can bridge the gap between you're fighting a zombie, now you're fighting a zombie shark, and fighting a shark, and then everyone just pops different monsters on. That player is not getting out of there alive.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's a blast. So definitely Munchkin is a game that I can recommend highly as well.
Yeah, so that's definitely my go-to. If I had a choice on what game to play for 24 hours during Tabletop Day, it would be that.
There you go.
Yeah.
The base set does have the infamous gazebo. I believe that's one was like, you cannot fight this with friends. You go at it on your own. It's a great one. It's a great monster to fight. All right. Well, I think that brings us right about to the end of the podcast. I think the final death count for me was 5. Snooze, I think only 2.
2, but very near 3 at the moment. Oh no, healing pool. I'm good, brah. I'm good.
I'm back
back
in
to
town,
town.
safe and sound right now. Jumped up to level 10, both of us. So, hey, there we go. Made a little bit of progress there. So, again, thanks, everybody. Really had a fun time tonight playing some Diablo 3 for you.
This is a really cool podcast. I just want to say something. This was really fun. Some good conversations on this one.
Absolutely. So this is podcast number 4. If you guys want to go back and check out some of our old podcasts, feel free. We do have them posted on SoundCloud and iTunes. So go ahead and check those out as well. Again, I'm your host, Brutus. Joined with me is my fantastic co-host, Snooze. If you guys do want to follow us, you can find me on BrutusForce21 on Twitch and Twitter. And for Snooze, you can find her on Onyx_Snooze-a-lot on Twitch, as well as, I believe, Snooze Gaming on Twitter, correct?
Snooze_gaming.
There's an underscore in there.
I know, it sucks.
There's an underscore. But thank you all again. Thanks for coming out. Again, we're the Good Game Geeks. Hope you guys all had a great time, because we definitely did. And we'll see you guys next time.
Absolutely. See you next time, guys. Dobby's a he. Bye.
Dobby's a he.
Okay, I'll stop it there. Hey, that was great, guys.
Son of a bitch. That was so good.
I had to sneak that in.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh, man. Oh, dude, we got our ass